Hi everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on another COVID lockdown painting. I have my daughter Layla here and she's going to paint along with me so you guys can see how different people have different styles and how we each have our own sense of creativity, because there is no wrong when you're doing art. So we are going to get started. We are going to need our background color. We picked this owl painting to do, so we're going to pick out our background color. That right there is green, and to show you how it's going to look differently, I'm going to do it with pink. You can sit down, Layla. I'm going to do it with pink and white. So that's my background colors. And what colors did you pick, Layla?
Blue and white.
You picked blue and white. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to load our palettes up, our paper plates up, have water handy, and have some paper towel. And now we can get started with our big brush, that big brush that I always say to use. That's what we're going to do. So Layla, go ahead and get your brush a little bit wet, and we're going to dip into our paint. And you guys will notice the background of this painting goes from light to dark. So that's why we are using our white. And I'm going to dip into my white first, and we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And instead of going in vertical painting strokes like sometimes we do, we're going to go back and forth, keeping the brush strokes nice and smooth. And the paint will blend better on your canvas if you use more paint. The more paint, the better, because then it doesn't dry as fast, right, Layla? So, got to use a bunch of paint. Like that. Good job. So once I get about halfway down with my white, that's when I'm going to start dipping into my pink and blending it in a little bit, or whatever color you guys chose. Now see how that's a nice light pink? Yeah, you can still even use more paint, Layla. Use lots. We got lots. I want a little bit of light pink to come up in through here. Now I'm going to start at the bottom with my dark. You don't have to go as fast as me. Enjoy what you're doing. Have fun with it. That's perfect. That's beautiful.
Now we're dipping into the blue.
Now you can dip into your blue. Just play with it, Layla, so you get a background that you like. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Mm-hmm. And so now that's really solid for me. So I'm going to take my white while everything's still wet. You don't have to be caught up to me, Layla. You can have all the time in the world to do this. And I'm going to stick kind of my half moon in there.
Is that good?
And then I'm going to have to let this dry and go back in with a little bit more white once it's dry. We can't do all the blending all at once, because otherwise we'd end up losing all of our white and everything would just turn a light pink or a light blue or whatever you're using. Here, let's move you over a little bit here so they can see what you're doing. Yeah, you're doing great, Layla. You might want to get your brush a little bit wetter, and then the paint will come off your brush easier onto the canvas. Beautiful. What happens if you pick up a little bit of white and put some white through that? You want to try it? See what happens. Now it's blending really pretty, isn't it? Yeah. And you can bring some blue up into here. Oh, I like that. Straight lines. I'll show you a trick, Layla. So see how you have solid lines and it's not blending into each other like that? Take your white over top of it, just like that, and then blend it back, blend it down in. See, now you have a little bit of blue up in there. Use lots of paint on your brush so it can come off nice and smooth. Like that. Do you want to give that a go? And you want to make it darker down at the bottom, right?
So now dark.
Yep. Yep, use your dark. Yep. Get a big scoop of it. Scoop it right up on your brush. There you go. Use the brush like a shovel. There you go. Now it's going off onto the canvas nice. And everywhere else, hey? Yeah. That looks really pretty. Let's hold this so that the kids can see it on the screen here. Layla, they can't see it. We gotta turn it this way. Aw, that looks really good. You picked pretty colors.
In the half.
Yeah, as soon as you get done. Looks really cute. Doesn't it work better when you use more paint? Mm-hmm. That's okay. So after you've done that part, Layla, yeah, you can paint on the easel, that's okay. That just gives it character. Good job. So now with this, nope, don't do that. Don't run your brush up that way because then you'll have a whole bunch of different streaks in there. So what do you got to do now? So you got to wash your brush off so we don't have any extra blue in there. And then I want you to dry it off too, okay, sweetie? A paper towel is right there. Right there. The reason she has to dry the brush off after she washes it is so that we don't deposit more blue into the white. It'll work better for her to dip into her clean white with a clean brush and not have any extra residue of blue to add into here because she's going to have enough of it as is with the wet paint on the background. So washing your brush in between using different colors is always pretty important because you won't get the crisp paint color that you're looking for if you don't do that. That's a little step a lot of us miss sometimes. That's perfect. Good job. So shovel up some white paint, scoop it up, and figure out where you want to put your moon. Right there. Moons are circles. So take a step back from it, Layla, and see if you think that's a circle. Not a circle? So what do you got to do to make it more circle? There you go. And all the way off the edge of your painting. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, now do that all the way in the middle. Circular brush motions to give it that rounded look. That'll make it look a little bit more round and a little bit more realistic. That looks so good. Oh no. What are we going to do about that? Finish your moon up and then we can fix that. That looks great. Do you want me to show everybody how we could fix that up? So just because we make a mistake in our paintings and we get little things that happen like this to all of us, this happens to everybody from time to time. We're going to have to work with, I'm just going to fix up her circle here a little. Okay, so we are back and our paintings are dry. We have just loaded up our palettes with a dark brown. This is a very dark brown. If you have light brown, use the light brown. And then you can add some black to it. We'll mix some black in. So Layla and I are just going to grab, and if you still have your white on your palette, keep the white there. We're going to use black, brown, and white to start the tree. So Layla, we need our brushes, our big brushes. You have paper towel to dry your brush off when it comes out of there? So we're starting out with a clean brush. We need that so we don't have other colors going into our brown. So the first thing we do, you let me know when you're ready to go, Layla. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Let's dip into the brown. And we're going to do a straight line down, you guys. Just like here. Straight line down. As fat as you want your tree or as skinny as you want your tree. But keep in mind, a super skinny tree might look funny with a big fat owl in it. Would it?
Yeah. 'Cause how would the tree hold it?
How would the tree hold it? Stranger things have happened. Hey?
Yep.
Okay, so as I'm doing this, I'm going to dip into my white. And you can do the same thing. And just do little blending tricks. Lines, kind of. And we'll go in later with our skinny little brush so we can do some detail work because I want you to see. I'm not trying to be perfect. Use lots of paint so use lots of paint so that your paint will be able to blend on the canvas, Layla. Get it on there nice and thick. So that's the kind of streaks I'm talking about putting in there. We're going to fix up that edge with black and our angled brush when the time comes. So once we have it to this point, you guys, I'm going to dip into my brown again and pick where I want my branch. So you can put your branch way high, like higher up, put it lower down, be creative, it's what you want to do.
Is this good?
That's great. Now, did you hear what I said about it or not?
Now we have to blend.
Now you have to blend.
I was listening.
You were. So now, we're going to do the same thing with the branch and just add a little bit of white in there
Like this?
and do our lines. Just like that, Layla, yeah? And once again, don't be afraid to use your paint. If you hold your brush sideways like this, Layla, you can get some lines in there like this. But you might have to load it with paint.
I'm just gonna get some more.
So I'm just showing Layla that if you hold your brush this instead of flat ways going up and down, if you hold it sideways like this, you can get finer blending lines in there. And they will stop and they will start. So you can do little blending lines, big blending lines to give the tree the look of its bark, and the grain in the bark is what we're doing. So I'm happy with mine, and I'm not going to go in there yet with my black until it's dry, because I want my black to be the detailed part, so I want them to be crisp lines, not detail, like, so it'll show the detail. Yep, lots of paint, Layla. Don't be afraid of your paint. Let's put it so people can see. And nice straight down lines, downward lines. Yeah, carry it all the way, carry it through. That's great. Maybe you should do some down there. Yeah, keep doing it. Sometimes when you've put your paint on there, I could show you something unless you want to do it. Take your brush the flat way. Now bring it up, pull it up. Pull it all the way up. There you go. There, you're getting some form of branches in there. Yep, now just leave it. We'll do some on this side. Right there.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and then we can wash that up. Wash it up, and then you can go put your branch in with your dark brown again. That's good. That's good, hon. Don't be scared of your paint. More paint. Yep. Where do you want your... Think about where you want your owl and turn your brush sideways so the branch doesn't get super thick. Where do you want your owl? Oh, pretty. Make his branch thick enough that it can hold him. And pull it out a little further to here because the branch will be skinnier on the end. I like that. Good job. That's good. Now do you want to get a little bit of white? Put a little bit of white in there. Perfect, Layla. Good. Good, good, good. Don't add to it anymore. It looks great. So now should we get our angled brushes? I'll hand them to you.
They're right here.
Okay, Let's get our angled brushes, you guys, and we're gonna dip into the black paint. This is where you'll have to watch what I'm doing, okay, Layla? And then you can go ahead and do it. Because this is a little bit of detail work. So I'm loading that brush, this nice angled brush, because it gives us nice crisp lines. So I'm loading that up. And I'm gonna start at the bottom and make my lines a little straighter. And I'm blending some black up in through. You guys can see that. Connecting the branch to it. I'm making it kind of curved, Layla, so the branch looks thicker. And it's always, our branch is going to be darker on the bottom half of it because the light can't get to the darks, like the bottom side, right? So we'll put a little bit of black on the bottom. See, I'm just making the lines more crisp and more straight. And in some places I'll put black in on the sides a little further in. And darker on this side a little bit, just in spots. Because trees don't look perfect, right? They have all different looks to the bark and everything. Do you feel like you're ready to go at it, Layla? So that's the tree. The tree is all done, and then we are gonna get working on the drawing of our owl. So kids, we're gonna get a bowl, something circle to trace, and then we're gonna get 2 smaller circles to trace for the eyes, and then that takes the guesswork out of everything for us.
Is that good?
That's lots of black, yeah. So did you see how I was holding my brush to make the line skinny?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
So like kind of up, going up,
Yeah.
and then turn.
Kind of like this, and then you go up. No, I'm messing things up.
Like that?
Just like that.
Then go around the whole branch.
Don't leave any blue underneath there. Like, get that blue away. That's perfect. Oh, pretty. Layla, that looks really good.
Then like,
Now right here, that corner looks a little bit sharp. So can you make that corner a little rounder?
is that good?
That's amazing. And so then you'll want to make all of this quite solid too, right? Straight line though. Look up at where you're going. Oh, pretty, Layla. That's blending really nice. See, if you take the edges of your wet paint here, you can kind of blend it like you were doing before on this side. So you got a little bit of blue showing through there, and we don't want the blue because our tree is really solid, so we got to make it look solid. Do you see any other places where you might need to do that? Look at the underneath right here. Do you think you want to get those? Good. Yeah, and you can pull it further down in here. Yeah, maybe do a few down in here. A few streaks. That's good, Layla. Good, good. Don't make it too dark because then the owl's feet aren't going to show up. Don't do any more of that. Beautiful. Good job. You happy with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, so we're going to let that dry and we're going to go get our bowls and our cups. And that all makes the owl. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will see you in a bit. Hi there. We're back again and we just got our drawing put on. For the sake of you guys being able to see the owl and how we drew it on, I used a white paint marker. But for you guys, if you don't have that at home, that's fine. Use a pencil, use a pen, use anything, just so that you can see your lines. So what we did here was I took this cup that Layla has here, and we decided where we were going to put our owl. Now, since the owl is supposed to be a tired-looking owl, we thought it would be better if it looks like he's leaning on the branch. So we traced the cup right there, giving enough room that we're going to be able to have legs. So don't set his body right on the branch because we have to paint his legs and then his little feet. And then what was the other size of circle object we found to trace, Layla?
This.
Yeah, so it's a little tiny cup, and we put the eyes on right here. So you're going to kind of want to pick where the center of your circle is, go up a little bit, and then trace your eyes, and they're going to overlap the edge of that circle. So his eyes are big. So some of it's touching the tree. See how some of his eye is touching the tree there? That's what we're going to do. We're going to put that on, and then we're going to get our colors out. We need brown, we need the black, and the white. That's the same thing that should still be on your palette, but those are the colors we're going to be using for the little owl. You ready to go? Ready, Layla? Okay. Okay. So what?
Over here. So
Yeah. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start, just watch what Mom does. We're going to outline the owl's body, not his eyes, but his body in brown. Can you do that? This is where you have to be super careful. Oh, and I have COVID kids crawling around in the background. Oh, see? COVID lockdown kids in the background.
is that good?
That's beautiful, but guess what? We can't see because of your head. There, yeah, you're doing it perfect. You're outlining, so that's just a little triangle, right, Layla?
Yep.
But you got to fill them in with brown.
They have to go fill in the triangle. Brown.
And I was thinking for this owl painting, what would be super cute is to do a big mama owl in the corner and then a baby owl beside it. That would be a really good Mother's Day gift. So think about doing that.
Or the baby.
This could be the practice painting, and then you can do another painting in secret because you'll already know all the tricks to make it really good.
Is that good?
That's great, Layla. Good job.
Then we have to trace this, right?
Same thing. So
Or
look
fill
at
it in.
fill it in.
Fill it in.
Look at the shape of it.
Okay.
The shape that I have here, that's the shape that you guys want for his body. And I want you to use a lot of paint. You're scared of using paint, aren't you?
This much?
Yeah, use lots of paint because we don't want it to dry. Because the way we did some blending work with our tree, Layla, that's what we're going to do with this guy too. Notice how he's darker under here?
Mm-hmm.
So first just lay down your brown. You don't have to work at the same speed as me.
I'm just trying to get it so I can actually see just brown.
Yeah.
So I don't go over the lines.
That's a good idea. So his little tummy. I have his little tummy. A little darker underneath. And I'm going to kind of blend that in. And then I'm going to add some white. Tiny bit of white where his beak would be going. And just soft lines, just blending it in, getting it to mix. Kind of half circular motions the lower down you get because then that makes him look more round. Now we're starting to see some tone differences, and if you guys go up into the shape of the eye, as long as you don't lose the whole circle, that's fine because we're going to go over these eyes actually and make them pure black. So a little bit of mistakes here and there, and overlap doesn't really matter at this point.
Is this good?
I can't see it from here. The sun is shining on it. That's beautiful. Good job. So do you think you can figure out how to make it look like this? Lighter in this part. White. Yep. You won't need a whole bunch this time because you're blending it in there. I don't even know. Just put a little dot in and blend the white.
That?
Yeah, now blend it like this, Layla. Take your brush, like me, and just blend it into the paint so you don't have any solid white left. Just like that. Yes. Now bring it up a little bit higher, the light color. Because we have that part being a little bit lighter. The trick to that and why that is a little bit lighter is it makes him look more brown. But his beak is going to show way more three-dimensional looking because the beak is dark.
So bring it all the way up to 0.
Yeah, because the beak is dark, that light color behind him really pushes the beak forward, so it makes it pop. And then I am putting, I had just put a little bit of dark underneath his tummy here. And I used my black to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing at the top of his head. Make that a little darker.
Is that good?
That's perfect. Now, did you see what I did at the bottom with the black? So do the same thing as far as blending. You're going to do that on the bottom of his belly and the top of his head with the dark.
So you don't want a lot of black though?
So you don't need a lot because we're going to feather that out into his body.
Okay, so like kind of just... like that?
Exactly like that. Your blackest black will be at the very bottom of him.
Like that?
Good. Do you want to fix up your line so he's smooth? That's what's holding your... Or we could say it's just feathers. It could be his shaggy feathers. Hey? Because he's so tired. Now you have to put some black at the top of his head up there.
Okay. How much? Not a lot?
Not a lot. It's best, Layla, if you use a little bit when we're blending because you can always add more, but it's really hard to get rid of it if you put too much on.
So like that?
Right at the top of his head, honey. So start at the top of his head and then blend it down. Layla, look at Mom here. It'll work better if you just do a line. Do a line and then pull down from your line. Do a line of black paint at the top of his head and then pull down. And then you should be able to get a nice blending from that. Perfect. Not all the way down though, just at the top. Very pretty. You got skill. Let's see, are you smiling? Are you? Oh, so pretty. Good. So now we're going to get into our black and we are going to load it up and we're going to paint his eyes completely black. Completely black.
So I need to
It
wash
just makes it easier. Yep, wash your brush. I had to go the long way.
I could have just passed that to you.
You could have, but you were washing your brush. So I didn't want to pester you.
So, don't just pass it.
Okay, I'm scooping mine up.
How much do we need? Like,
Well,
do we even go outside the circle block?
You don't want to go outside this. What do you mean outside the
Like
circle?
outside this.
Just how about take a peek at what I'm doing? Take a peek at how I'm holding my brush and everything.
Okay. So then you just want that much for starting?
If that's what you're comfortable with, do it. Do what you feel comfortable with, because you want these lines to be really smooth, Layla. This is where we have to be super careful.
Have to move it.
You have to move it.
Like that, yeah. Even like this?
That's perfect. You little painter. Hey?
It's quite easy, I'd say so.
It's quite easy.
I would say so. All I
Good.
have to do is kind of like trying to make it so they can see and I can paint.
Well, they can't, I don't think they can see because you got your head in the way, but that's okay.
At least they could see me.
So once you guys got his eyes done, we're going to do his little legs. Now I'm going to do those in black. So his little legs come all the way down, touching the branch. And then his feet are just a little line across, little black line on the branch. That's it. There's his feet.
Is that good? So
And then we got to let this dry completely. His black eyes. That's beautiful. Let's see. Turn it to Mom. Aw, good job. Now you got to do the other one. So these eyes, we're going to have to wait for the eyes to dry, and then we're going to go in and we're going to sketch the eyelids. And then we're going to use another circular object. You can freehand the white rims around and in his eyes, or you can get something to trace it so it gives you a better guide, whatever feels better for you. And there's a trick to knowing when your paint is dry. Your paint is dry when it is no longer shiny on the canvas anymore. That's how you can tell by looking at it, instead of going to touch it and then messing your painting up. So now, Layla, you just got to smooth your circles out so they look completely circle.
Yeah. So like here?
You can finish his leg first.
That?
Beautiful.
And over here?
Yeah. Did you draw his legs in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Cute. Okay, can I take a look at his eyes? You just got to fix that line there. Go, see? Just be really careful. Smoothing out your edges, right? This is the part where you do kind of want it to be somewhat perfect. I always say in paintings, don't be perfect, but in the circles, we kind of have to try our very hardest to keep it circular, or our owl's going to look really funky. We'll have a funky looking owl.
Yeah.
Here.
Can't get that.
Ready to hold?
Yeah.
Start from the bottom up.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just different ways to hold your brush.
Yeah.
You don't have enough paint on it. Do you want to get a little bit of paint? Do you want me to fix it, or do you want to do it? Right here. Take a look at your shape. Stand back a bit. What do you need to do to make it more circle? There you go. Now we circle. Pretty circle. Good. Okay. I like how you have little scruffy looking feathers in there. That was kind of a happy mistake on Layla's part, but her owl's going to have character because he's got some scruffy looking feathers hanging down there. I think that's pretty cute.
Because he's sleepy.
Because he's sleepy. He's sleepy. Maybe he's tired of lockdown.
Yeah.
Do you think he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's wash our brushes out and we can start the rest of this once this paint is dry. Okay, so our eyes are all dry on our little owls here. So we still have the paint left on the palette from before, which is our brown and our white. So I'm going to take a little bit of my brown. I'm going to mix it into, a little bit of white, mix it into my brown. So I've got a bit of a lighter brown. So the brown's a little bit lighter. Are you going to do that, Layla?
Yeah.
Pull it, yeah, and mix it up. But before we get to that point, if you're not feeling brave about painting straight on your owl, you can always sketch in the details. So that's what we did with Layla. So we drew the eyelids on first. We went straight across, drew the eyelids. on both, and they need to be level so his eyes look the same, and they need to be symmetrical. And then we drew in his little, this is where we're going to put the white spots on his eyes. And they're little half circles, you guys, so that's what's making him look tired, because it looks like he's drooping his eyes. And then we have a couple eyelashes on the sides, and don't forget the crazy eyebrows. We have those in there. So take a peek at this guy while you're drawing it. You good to go? Okay, so you got, make sure the brush is going to be wet enough that your paint's going to flow off nice.
So I need this.
Dip it in just a little bit of water, Layla, so you don't have trouble dragging your paint across the
So
canvas.
this much?
Yeah, check your paint out, make sure you're happy with the color.
I think I am.
Okay, you ready? Go ahead. Yeah. And you got to stay in the lines.
Try. Try to stay in the lines. My best.
So we're just going over the top half of that black circle. With our light brown. You might have to hold your brush a little differently, Layla, to get more control. Don't be afraid to stop, turn your brush around. Just like that. And start from the top down then. If you go from the top down, then you have more control. Then you won't accidentally pull paint upwards.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Do ya?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to blend in a little bit more light in the center of his eyelids right here in half circular motions. That just makes them look a little bit more round. And then I'm going to take some of that brown, clean my brush off, take some of that reddish brown that we have shining through.
Reddish brown.
You're doing really good. Keep your lines all straight though, Layla, because otherwise his eyelids look wiggly. You got to keep this line down here, Layla. Look at me. Really straight. So work with his eyes until you guys are happy with how it appears. We want him to look somewhat round.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take a little tiny bit of black like we did in the owl's body. Remember when we shaded underneath?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing
Little
that?
shade underneath the eye, kind
Yeah,
of.
just wait though, because you're not at the same stage. Don't rush it, Layla.
I know.
I'll help you.
Just trying to take my time.
Take your time. Don't rush it. It's what happens when you rush.
Your painting gets messed up.
You can get it messed up.
Mm-hmm. And how you don't want it to be. Like that?
Just like that. You got to straighten your lines out. Do you want help with straightening the lines out, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like that?
I might want. I don't know.
Do your best, and if you need help, I can help you. If
Is
not,
that
that's
good?
fine.
Like, am I doing the line good so far?
I'll help you here. Since we're working with the same colors. So Layla's got a good base on her eyes there, so we're just going to go through and we're going to straighten out the lines for her. Since we're using the same colors, that works really good. So I'm just going to straighten the lines out for Layla.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll look good.
I think it's looking really good. This is how you get a straight line. Hold your brush like this and just drag it across nice. Now pull those brush strokes up. And let's fix this part here. So he's perfectly circled. And his eyelids. Because if those eyelids aren't perfectly circled, he's going to look like he's got some lumpy, bumpy eyes. So Layla's done with her eyelids right now, and then we're gonna go in and we're gonna do this part white. Those marks that we penciled in, that's gonna be white. You ready, Layla?
Yeah.
See those little half circles?
Mm-hmm.
You want nice clean lines on it.
So white?
Nice clean white, so and straight lines.
So like around here on the eyelids?
And this is his tired look.
Okay. So you want and just fill this hole in.
Yeah, fill it in.
I need to wash my brush. I need paper towel, paper towel,
You need paper towel?
paper towel.
Welcome.
There. Now I need white. There.
Good job. That's how you want it to look. Yep.
Just need to fix
Gotta
that
fix
in.
it in. Another half circle right there. There we go. So Layla's got her part in too. Now we're starting to be able to move forward. We're gonna mix up I was just thinking there for a minute which step to move to next, because there really is no right and wrong way. But we are gonna have to, this is the hard part. See this white rim on his eyes? That's what we're doing.
Okay.
So Layla, watch how mom does it first. I'm drawing around the outside, getting my line. A half circle. We don't want to change the thickness of it going anywhere. So I'm doing that first. You watch. And if you want, Layla, you can use a different brush. But I like the pointy part on my brush, on my angle brush.
Will this work better for me?
I don't know.
Probably I'll try it.
This is the part where you have to be really careful and take
Do you
your
want your
time.
brush wet though? Or no?
A little bit, yeah.
Little wet.
Why don't you move the water jar
Okay.
so I can grab some too. Okay guys, so just, there's no trick to this except for being really careful and taking your time.
Here.
Thank you.
Now I need white.
Yeah.
Not a lot though. I think I want to here. Is here good? Right here?
Keep it the same thickness going all the way around.
I'm trying.
Just be really patient with yourself. So now we have the start of his eyes. Yeah, and go all the way down here.
So just color this all in?
Color it all in very carefully. And then you might have to go over it 1 or 2 times to get it a really solid bright white, because we want it nice and bright, nice and white.
Nice bright. It rhymed. Do I like miss this? Like, do I not color in like that part of the beak or no? Don't color it in. Just go around the beak. I'm just.
You can color it in too. It doesn't matter. Because I didn't draw my beak on yet, so I put mine underneath there. Good job. And then we can fix this spot up with black to make it more later. Do both the eyes. So while she's working on getting her eyes done, you guys, I am going to mix up a lighter gray. And we're going to put the beak in. The beak is going to be done in a couple segments. And it is just a triangle. And it does overlap parts of the white on his eyes there. So I'm going to stick that in.
I think that's good. I just need so we can't see the black.
That looks great. So as I do that, I've got paint on my hand. As I do that,
Same.
I'm gonna go in and blend into my gray a little bit of black.
Try my best not to wreck it.
You can't wreck it. You can't really wreck it, Layla, because you go in and you fix it. Right?
It's true.
You can always fix the stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get stressed out. You get stressed out and worry about it and don't have fun, your painting's not going to work out anyway. You have to have fun.
Yep.
And so now with that same color, with the same color we did this guy's little beak, we're going to do those little eyebrows. So I'm going to hold
So
up.
what color do we do his beak? Like black and white? So
Mix it with the gray. Yeah, you can start it all black or start it gray. You could do his whole nose black and then you can dab in a little white and blend it in. So look at the nose. We're blending that in.
Okay.
Just lighter right on the one side.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
this is the owl's eyebrows and they start down here, right at his eyelids. See? They start down here and they're just following up and around and then flaring out a little bit here. And in gentle upward brush strokes, we're dividing them off. Oh, it looks so good, Layla. And so that light gray that I had you guys mix up, we'll do it in the same tones as his little beak. So I'm starting one line, kind of broken lines. So there's his eyebrows. He's starting to look pretty tired.
now what do I do? The eyebrows? For what?
Yeah.
Okay. So what color? Would I just color them black?
The
Then?
same color as his nose.
Okay.
And to detail his eyebrows up, I'm going to go in again with a little bit of black and just define them underneath, like putting little hair strokes and feather strokes in there. Let's take a peek at yours.
So
Oh, it looks so cute. Excuse me.
Is that good? Do you think? That's good?
It's adorable.
There, now the eyebrows.
Okay, do you want to see how I'm doing my eyebrows?
Yeah.
Watch the movement of my brush while we do this.
Okay. Should I use the tilted brush?
The angled brush?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I'm just using the tip and I'm lightly pulling it upwards and lifting off the canvas.
Okay, so
Do
you're
you see what I'm doing?
gently pull it.
Yeah.
So you want black.
Yeah. And I'm going to add a couple. Yeah, use black. Follow the lines. See the eyebrows start right down here, Layla? They come right through underneath. Yeah, right in between his eyes. Then I'm going to take a little bit of white.
So like this?
A little bit of white. That's exactly what you want to do. To define, because it takes light to show dark and dark to show light.
Voila.
Our white spots here really set off up against those dark. And then you can see the texture of his little eyebrows. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to start out doing his eyelashes. And then we're going to do the detail work. I'm rinsing my brush off because we want a good solid black. It looks really good, Layla. His eyebrow comes all the way to there.
Oh.
They have to be the same on both sides. Yeah. So the closer, oh, I'm full of paint.
Is that good?
That is super cute.
Then I want white, right?
Just a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move along with it and see how you do. Now, the black eyebrows are done. We're going towards the black eyelashes. And I only do a few on the outer corners so we don't overwhelm it. And then what ends up making him look really sleepy, the trick to making this owl sleepy is actually the little eyelashes he has sitting on underneath. So we have black eyelashes going around the bottom of here, the bottom of his eye. So we just want to put some on. And that's what makes him look tired. Look at you go, Layla. You're doing an amazing job. Not too much white. That's good.
Is that good?
That's perfect.
Okay.
I'm starting to need a new brush here. This one is getting old. Old and wore out. It's seen its time.
The eyelashes are black and white, or just black?
Come watch how very pointy I put the edges of my... And I'm just lightly, very lightly touching the canvas with this. Because the harder you press, the more paint and the thicker line you get. The lighter you press, the thinner line you get. So you don't want to press hard.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to put a bunch of,
Get it?
a lot of paint just on the very tip. So start with the long eyelashes on the corner.
Don't want to start with too much.
Never. You don't want to start with too much. So there he is.
So like that?
You have to turn it in my direction so I can see.
Where's the other side of the eyelashes? Oh, right there.
Yeah, if you look, you can see it. That's beautiful, Layla.
Now I'm just going to go carefully with those little ones.
Yes. You might have to pick up more paint on your brush so they stay dark. Oh, he looks really good, Layla. And then I'm just defining the eyelids. Crisping up the lines with my dark black.
Okay, you go till the beak.
Yep, go to the beak with the bottom eyelashes, guys.
Like that?
Aw, cute. Now you gotta do it on the other side. He looks great.
Yeah, I have to do it on this side.
Now I think I'm gonna put a little tiny, instead of a heart on the bottom of the owl, I'm gonna put a little flower on this time and see
I
what
was
that
gonna
looks
put a
like.
star.
You're gonna paint a star?
Sure.
Yeah, that
I
would be
can
good.
draw it and then just paint over it.
That's
with
exactly
color.
right. You can do that. Yours looks so good, Layla.
It's hard work.
It's hard work, but it's worth it, right?
Made something.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Aw, he looks cute.
And maybe some lighter blue.
Some lighter blue? Why?
No, some blue to cover that.
Oh, it doesn't look bad at all, Layla. Oh, because he started doing that?
Yeah. That can be a scruffy feather.
It looks like scruffy feathers.
Just imagine that if you make a mistake, use it as something else. Just imagine it as something else.
Yep. Sometimes mistakes work for you. Hey?
They don't mean to do, but they look good.
Yes. That's so good. That's
Now what?
awesome. So I need you to do, see across his eyelids right here? We need to do a straight black line. Look at straight black line across his eyelids. Oh, I'm going to help you get your brush. I'm just going to help Layla with her brush. I'm going to show them when you want to have a straight line.
That's brown, not black.
It's great.
But when the eyes are
Okay, you got to move your head.
I don't want to.
So when we want to go do our straight lines, we want our brush flattened on the end, like this. Load it up with paint. And I'll show you. Do you mind if I show them, Layla?
Sure.
Our straight black line, or would you like to?
You can do it.
Okay. So we're coming up nice and close here. We want this a straight line. Connect that to his eyelashes. That just really cleans up our lines for us. We're going to start outlining our owl and detailing him up somewhat. So just in little spots where you've got white where you don't want it, up in there. Fix that up. I'm going to bring his eyebrows down. And that just gives him. So now he is pretty much done. Layla, you did a beautiful job. We're going to outline the top of his eyelids just like everybody will do. We're all going to do that. Just basically outline him in a thin line of black. And now everybody can put their own little design on right here. I did a flower. The other one I did a heart. Layla wants to do a star. And so you can do that in any color you want. Now it kind of makes it your own thing. I think we got to fill in a part of his eye right here, Layla, because he's got some white down there. Should we fix that guy?
Yeah.
There you go.
Now
He
do
looks so
I put
cute.
the star right here? Let's see.
So outline every little thing about your owl. Clean up your lines.
There.
And
Do
as
you have yellow?
Do I have yellow?
Yellow.
Not down here.
Want to go get it?
Yeah, you can go run and get yellow.
Imagine if I painted it gold.
You can paint it whatever color you want.
Do you have gold?
I have gold, but you'll have to find it.
Where is it?
Upstairs. So there you have it. All done. Thank you for joining us, you guys. I really appreciate you spending the time and taking the time to do this. We will talk to you later.